I don't normally cover any Call of Duty stuff, but I thought this was very important because it also applied to Overwatch in the past day since yesterday. So it might be a couple days from now, whenever you see it. But if you didn't hear, last week Blizzard laid off Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, all of it got laid off 1,900 people. And so a bunch of people got laid off last week. You saw yesterday that a bunch of people from Overwatch League, which we just had the esports stuff got announced, got laid off. And I was like, what the hell? But there was a reason for that. It has to do with Call of Duty, so it'll all come back together. There's awful news coming out of Call of Duty camp today, as it concerns mass layoffs at Activision Blizzard again. In recent hours, it was confirmed by former employees that Activision is cleaning house in the esports department, releasing casters, on-air talent, senior-level esports managers, and the entire team of CDL observers. This news packs as an extra punch, and it comes just one day after the end of the CDL's Major 1 tournament in Boston, which was a roaring success. Dude, this is evil. Dude, that happened to me. Okay, you know why this sits with me really, really hard? Because this happened to me when I worked in Overwatch League. COVID was hitting, and I still have I actually I might not have. I have to look if I still have them, and I can prove it to you because I had literally like hand sanitizers made. There was the rumblings of COVID before it hit, like fully. There was PAX East, and PAX East was a big convention for us because we got tons of signups for newsletters, whatever. And Overwatch League, so the Boss Uprising was owned by the Craft Group, which also has a subdivision which like sells people's data, right? So like getting signups for newsletters and stuff, they make bank off of that stuff. So that was a big event for them. They knew that I didn't like them very much anymore. They didn't like me that much anymore. They were going to lay me off, right? They waited till after PAX East, which was also the same time that COVID was hitting. So it was all, like, oh, like it's, it's like, oh, it's fine. Like, there's other things that are happening, which sucked. That was blue. But they intentionally waited till after, and they knew that they were going to do that. But they waited till I had worked that event. I think I had worked like 85 hours that weekend. You come in that Monday, they're like, oh yeah, take it easy today. You had a long weekend. You were basically nonstop the whole weekend, and then Tuesday, boom. That's what happened. The same thing to them in Call of Duty, but Overwatch in the esport Overwatch side got caught up in it because of this major was happening. Nobody got touched until after it happened, which it's so. But effectively, Activision Blizzard had their teams work through the major before dropping them the moment the event had wrapped. It's not known what comes for the next CDL, but in one claim, it was stressed that there are about 12 people left on the esports team at Activision Blizzard. It is no big secret that Call of Duty is going through a rough patch, with recent delays and issues impacting challengers especially, but now the game's top flight league is coming under intense fire. You know what the part about this that's really fucking annoying? Releasing casters, on-air talent, senior level esports managers, and the entire team of CDL observers. I'll give you a hint. There's 3 people in here that were not part of the big problem. And I don't even watch COD. I guarantee you there's three groups in here that had nothing to do with it. It's literally always the people at the top who are just the dumbest fuckers you've ever dealt with. Because I've been there. And I tell you that because I've been there. I have literally sat my ass in that chair, in that board meeting, in that room, and looked at possibly people that get paid at that time my yearly salary in like 2 months, and they look at you and they go, or no, hell, maybe actually a month, and they go, no, I know better. Meanwhile, they just run it right into the ground. And it's infuriatingly bad, especially in esports. From bad to worse, last year, some 50 employees were laid off Activision Blizzard, impacting both the Overwatch League and Call of Duty League. Recently, the Overwatch League was shut down, and in its place comes an entirely new ecosystem of esports. There are now expectations to pointing to the same course of action taking place within Call of Duty's ecosystem. For years, the most diehard fans have found issues with the Call of Duty League, namely the tournament franchising structure, which has effectively locked many healthy competitors out of the space and watered it down. Statement on Twitter, Josh Lee, former member of CDL Observer Team, said, "There is no longer any more full-time observers of the COD League, and as a reminder of Hot Hands Lounge, the remainder of Hot Hands Lounge was let go after the conclusion of the Boston Major. All those years of work and development the team put in just to be wiped. COD esports will never be the same again." It's such a bold claim, but it certainly holds some weight. Recently, organizations and companies close to Call of Duty have been getting cleaned out. For instance, Sledgehammer Games' Modern Warfare 3's developer recently saw a 30% cut in its staff base. That's actually super relevant to Overwatch 2, which is why I'm really annoyed this week, because we've had... Okay, I'll come back in a little bit. I think I want to talk about that in something separate. There has been plenty of ups and downs in the Call of Duty space as of late, such as the league's decision to port CDL to YouTube, which is been a hard pill for fans to swallow. But the observers and stuff don't make these decisions. It's the corporate people at the top that are trying to make as much money as possible. So they are removing long-term sustainability for short-term gains, and that's what kills it every time. It saw an instant knock hitting the already inconsistent viewer count for CDL. Dude, I remember hearing CDL had like over 100,000 viewers, and then like Scump was co-streaming it with also over 100,000 viewers. So on Twitch, they had like multiple hundreds of thousands of viewers, and then they went to YouTube and it went right in the toilet and shit the bed. And it's like, why do you keep doing that? Hello? Are you stupid? What happens now? As we continue as normal, there's no indications that anything further will happen beyond these layoffs. They're devastating for those involved, but the Call of Duty League systems are still go. All systems go. With Major 2 qualifying stage commencing on February 16th, for now, everything remains business as usual, but the beliefs are that once the season of CDL is up, monumental changes will take place. We'll cover the developments as they unfold. Yeah, so Call of Duty League is going to have the same thing happen as Overwatch League. But a few tweets from some COD side. We saw this one actually already. It was in the article. Laid off today from Activision Blizzard despite being promoted 3 months ago. I'm still incredibly proud of the product we created and heartbroken to say goodbye to CDL. Excited for more opportunities. Another one, Hot Hands Lounge. Well, this was referenced in there. With today's news, we have additional free agents on the market, all of which has been incredibly talented with a plethora of experience between them. As I was a part of the Blizzard esports layoffs, what does this person do? Producer. Wow. Producer for COD League. I started over 6 years ago, and in that time, I got to produce multiple grand finals. They were Overwatch too. Got nominated for Emmys and brought joys to fans. But what I'll miss most is the talented, passionate people I worked with. They're the best, and they deserve better. And you know, I've seen so many people talk about it on like Twitter and whatnot. People in both COD League and Overwatch League were doing multiple jobs. So like in the NFL, right? Like there's a job that people just export footage of games, right? So like what they do is like of the broadcast, they grab all the footage and then they send it to editors. That's their job. They grab it and they send it. That's their job. And then someone else edits it. In Overwatch League, they did all of it. They found the footage, they grabbed the footage, they downloaded the footage, they edited the footage, and they sent it off and posted it. Like, they did all the jobs all put together. Another COD League observer. All good things must come to an end. My time with CDL as an observer has come to a close. I'll look back at these years and cherish all the memories and people I've met along the way. HHL for life. Another one. What a turn of events. Team was downsized by half at the beginning of the season. We completed the first major, and now there's no more Hot Hands Lounge, which is the observers, and CDL. Never thought I would see the day. Another one. The Call of Duty League no longer has any full-time observers following Major 1. The entire CDL staff worked this weekend without knowing whether they still had a job, and today they're starting to find out. Damn, that's fucking cold, dude. Heartbroken. I think it's another observer. Yeah, this is the other. I saw the photo. Was still holding the fact that Q and John still had some control over the quality of the broadcast and storytelling. Something we worked for 4 years to improve. We will never forget the memories. So incredibly thankful to what our team has accomplished. Oh, you know, I was going to mention this earlier, and I think I want to do like a whole piece on it later and just like talk about it, because I'm kind of a little pissed off right now. But talking about like layoffs specifically, you know, Overwatch has a major problem. Major. And they are the slowest f***ers on the planet. And I mean that respectfully. They are so slow at getting anything out. Like they take forever. And I'll give you a good example. We'll talk about the ranked that's coming up, right? Ranked launched in Overwatch 2, and it was terrible. Like, everyone figured it out within the first 2 months that it was terrible, right? And they acknowledged, like, you know, there's things we could do better. And they did. And they reduced it from 7 games to 5 games for wins. And then that was pretty much it. It took a year and 4 months to get a system back, which people had already believed that the old system was better, right? So if you talk about current day Overwatch, there's a lot of people that argue that old ranked was better than new ranked, right? Depends on what their goal was. Their goal for Overwatch 2 ranked was to make it so that ranked was less anxiety inducing, it was more inclusive, it would make people play it more often, right? If anything, it had the opposite effect, where now more people play quick play than ever. If I had to look at all the data, I bet there's more people who look percentage-wise who play quick play than they do ranked nowadays. That would be my guess. But that's not all. There was a feeling that the old system was better. So a lot of people were like, just go back, just go back. And they didn't want to go back. I understand that. And they come out with a new rank system, and it looks good, right? Like, from what we've seen, it looks good. But it's still not here yet. Like, we're in the end, like, today is January 31st, tomorrow is the start of February. You know, it comes in season 9, which is what, like 2 weeks from now or some shit, and we know it's coming. But it still took a year and 4 months, right? Still took a year and 4 months. And I can't help but sit there and go, what the f***? How does it take so long? And I know why it takes so long. It's because they don't have enough people. And then you look at the last week, and there's a bunch of people that get laid off, and they already don't have enough people to make shit move. Like, it's too slow. That now, you know, like, we're like, shit, we're already behind because of how long things take to move. When you have less people helping, it's kind of easy to infer that it might take even longer now. And then I look at something, for example, like a streamer mode, right? Like, I tried to play Prop Hunt yesterday with, like, Emong, me, Ruben, and Somnus. Emong didn't even finish playing for a couple hours. Like, he was like, nah, I'm going to go back and play ranked. And I think it's because we were just getting sniped out of the ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to play hide and go seek when the other team can see where you're, can screen peek you and see where you are. And these aren't people that are watching my stream and being like, okay, I'm going to snipe his game, right? Like, and I can recognize my snipers. I know who they are. I recognize their names. What it's called is ghosting, which means that stream ghosting, which means that they load into a game and they see, oh, I see, that's Flats. Is that real Flats? Alt tab, twitch.tv/Flats, and then look at him and go, oh, it is him, and then boom, then they sit there and watch my stream for the whole game, right? That's stream ghosting. So basically, they didn't intend to stream snipe me when they queued up, but then they got a game with me and they go, oh shit, that is him. I'm gonna go find him. We don't have a streamer mode. We're in a game in 2024, a AAA title, and we still don't have a streamer mode. And I know this is something that they've heard and they want to work on, and like, I know there's a lot of good people over there, but this is something that I brought up to them pre-Overwatch 2 in 2022. Like, that old summit before Overwatch 2 even launched, I brought it up to them. There's so many things that we don't have as a AAA title, and the game's not like it's not profitable. It makes millions. There was that thing that came out that it made like, what, 250 million last year? Considering Overwatch 1 made like, I think, $1 billion over 7 years, that's pretty damn good. Considering it wasn't a brand new game. Like, it's an old game, and they're still just keeping it alive by keeping it churning. That's not too shabby. You can't help but sit there and go, well, there's all these layoffs that are happening, right? And if you're laying people off, you're going to slow things down, because either you're going to hire new people. If you're not going to hire new people have to take their jobs or take over on certain things, or quality is going to drop, or if certain things that they're working on, it's going to take even longer for them to get pumped out. And the worst part of all of that, I sit there and I go, well, there's the only things that people really give a shit about is like, how's the game feel, right? They don't give a fuck, right? They just don't give a fuck. They care about balance. I saw more people tweeting at devs when they were talking about getting laid off. They're like, oh, good. Maybe now the game will be good and they'll nerf Moira. First off, you're a moron. Like you literally have the amount of brain cells of my water bottle. You guys could literally be cousins. I'd sit there and I go, that's all they care about, right? And then in Overwatch 1, there was a period of time for about 4 months where when Jeff was still on the Overwatch team, Jeff had said, okay, we have come to the realization that the only way that people genuinely enjoy the game of Overwatch is if it has consistent patches and the game is shooken up quite often. So Jeff himself, and you can go back and there's literally history of this. You can go back and see, and Jeff said, okay, we're going to do a patch every 2 weeks. That is going to be our cadence. Every 2 weeks, we're going to do a balance patch. And then they did for 4 months, and the game was great. And then there was that famous October patch. If you don't know, if you haven't been here, sorry, I can't explain it to you, but there was this old patch that was just like, it was like the balance patch. It was the best balance patch ever. Overwatch 1 felt balanced. Double Shield hadn't taken over, all this stuff. And then they did the giant window screen for Baptiste and all this stuff, right? The October patch came out when they were constantly updating the game. But now, when Overwatch 2 launched, they said they're going to a semi-seasonal format. So the way it works is you get a big balance patch at the beginning of the season, and then you get another balance patch halfway through the season, and then you get another balance patch at the start of the next season. That is the old system. And I remember saying to them, I was like, guys, that's too slow. If that's too slow, it's not going to be good. Like, you need to go faster than that. And so they were like, no, we think it's going to be fine. And here we are today, and like, it doesn't even matter what the next balance patch is. Everyone's pissed off all the time because it feels like shit. And I don't even want to talk about how bad tank feels and how dog shit it feels to grind, because I don't even grind the game anymore. I can't even complain. I don't even play that much anymore. Like, what's the point? What's the point in complaining? Because I don't even play it. I just go play some other shit now. Like, that's how I deal with it. But at the same time, though, you know, then there's a lot of people that come in and ask, like, Flats, why don't you play that much tank? Why don't you play that much ranked? Why don't you play that much Overwatch? Because it's ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, people get tired of hearing about people complain, but it's like, okay, then we'll just not get anything forever then. We'll just sit here and we'll all suffer together. Dude, whatever. Point is, though, you look at the layoffs, and you look at how long it took to get to the point where we get communication nowadays. We got communication, and we got people who care, and they actually want to make shit happen. But then nothing moves, and then the second it feels like stuff starts moving, and you feel the gears start grinding, it's like, oh yeah, things are looking good, like, holy shit, they're f***ing doing it, and then someone shoots out one of the tires and you fall over, and just like, how did you can't, dude, like, we just fixed the car, man. We just got the car fixed, we start rolling. I didn't expect some dude to shoot my tire. Like, how the f*** was I supposed to figure that one? Like, how do you figure that one out? You know what I mean?